Hey guys, I want to talk about loose handles. Very common question I get is, hey, I just bought X brand hatchet or axe or whatever. 2 days later, the handle's loose. Should I return it? Is it junk? That's a very common question for me. And I want to address this because not all handle issues are a problem with quality control. They're just a fact of life. Handles get loose, and it's not always because of use. So I want to go through a couple of the reasons. Now, typically your handle's going to come loose for one of the following reasons. One, heavy use over a period of time, which basically means the wood is going to compress, shrink, and eventually that will work loose. That can be fixed by basically reseating the head, adding a wedge, whatever it is you want to do. Another reason why handles come loose is moisture. If, say, an axe is manufactured someplace very wet, very damp, that wood absorbs a lot of moisture. You bring it someplace dry, it's going to dry out, shrink, that head's going to come loose. Once again, same thing, same resolution. You can reseat the head, add a wedge, maybe some epoxy, whatever floats your boat. There's many different ways to skin a cat. I prefer to often strip the handle, reapply like boiled linseed oil as opposed to like a poly coating, and then re-wedge as needed, or if needed. Sometimes it doesn't need it. Sometimes just sealing the handle with boiled linseed oil bloats the wood enough to solve your problem. Another reason can be just bad quality control from the factory. And I don't have an example here to show you, but I have this old hammer. And oftentimes nowadays, to save money, these tools are press fit, which is to say that a hydraulic press puts the head down onto the handle. And oftentimes what this does is creates a wooden shelf. And if you look real close, you can see that this has a bit of a shelf on it. Basically, this shelf is here because this has been a loose head. And over the years, people have been whacking it on tables to tighten it back up. So it's created a bit of a wooden ledge around the edge here. And that often happens with these press fit heads. The hydraulic machine comes down, pushes down, creates this ledge which stops it from going down. Then they wedge it, do whatever they want to do on top. And then as the wood shrinks, of course, it pulls away from that ledge and then gets loose. And that creates a real pain in the neck to replace, or fix, because you have to, number one, break down that ledge, resand, move the head down further, and wedge it again. And that can be a real pain. And then you're probably going to have to, do something with the coating, because you're going to remove some of the coating around the head, and it can really be a pain. So oftentimes a badly press fit head can cause problems in literally no time. But that's not always the case. Like I said, oftentimes you'll get something and it's just the handle's just dried out. You're in a dry environment, it came from a wet environment. I think the best way to combat that, like I said, strip your handles. You don't need this poly coating. I'm a big fan of boiled linseed oil. Makes a great handle. And if you use some of these homemade stains, you can get a really nice antique look out of them for nothing, just like what you use, stuff around the house. And this one here is just a restored old axe head. I think it looks fantastic. And it's never come loose despite really, really super hard use. And I think I attribute that to a really good seal on the handle, and that keeps the wood from drying out at all. So I think that's important. When you get something new, you get a hammer, spend the time, strip it, get all that poly off there, get all those stickers off there, and seal the handle properly. Save yourself that trouble down the road. Solutions, like I said, can be as simple as seating the head down further, adding a wedge, resealing the handle. You really got to look at each individual one and try and figure out what's causing the problem before you take any action. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and just remember, every loose handle is not a quality control issue. Sometimes it's just Mother Nature. Things dry out. It happens. Hope you enjoyed.